Hello, and welcome to the East Africa Business Podcast. I'm Sam Floy, and I'm here on the continent to learn about the emerging business scene. I'll be interviewing startups, investors, and organisations who are all playing their part in helping the region develop and grow. And in doing this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the things I learn along the way. As more of East Africa goes online, they need more web services. The trend is towards broader access to the internet, and with that, a demand for bringing more and more offline interactions into the digital world. In Tanzania, this is exactly what Geek Technologies are doing. Mbelwa and I discussed the trend towards making more services digital, how they win customers, and why they decided to name their business Geek Technologies. It's an insightful interview about technology in the country, and so I hope you enjoy. Cool. So I'm here today with Mbelwa from Geek Technologies. I'm here in the Geek Technologies office at Mbelwa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
So just to get us started, could you tell us a bit about you and a bit about Geek Technologies?
Yes, as Mr. Sam was saying, I'm Mbelewa Mchayungu from Geek Technologies, and I'm a university graduate from Rwanda University College, located at Iringa region here in Tanzania. So after I graduated with my colleagues, we decided to start a company, an IT-related company. And the name was Geek Technologies. That was the cool name we chose. So we registered it on 12th of August 2014. And if you can do the math, we're about 2 years and 2 months old.
Are you? Yeah. And so what are the main services that you provide?
Okay, there are about 6 services, but the core services are graphics design, website design and development, and software development. Those are the 3 core services that we do. But others are like PC maintenance and repair, ICT consultancy.
So how many people work at Geek Technologies?
Yes, we are about 9, and 3 are the founders, which is I, Mbelewa Mchayungu, and there are other 2 called Shaban Said and Alfred Chunga, and the other 6 are the part-time employees.
See, and so what do the part-time employees do?
Okay, we have a marketing team, we have the graphics designers, we have the animators and illustrators, we have the software developers, and the web designers.
Okay, and why do people come to you?
Yes, most of the time we advertise ourselves online. On social media, we have advertising agents. Hope you've heard of them, like Odi, Tukomodia, Zoom Tanzania, Tanzayelo. Those are well-known advertisement agents. We do not market our services on face-to-face basis. We want to avoid the problem of right information to wrong people. So we believe that when we focus on those 2 platforms, the advertisement agency and social media, will get the targeted customers for our services.
I see. So how many customers do you have?
Roughly more than 50.
50. Wow. And do they have you for like one project, or do you have them on a retainer?
Okay, we have very few for more than one project, but most of them are just one project.
So can you talk me through the process? What is a typical project that you have?
Okay, for the web design, if the customer sees our ad online, he calls or emails us. So we get in touch with him or her. We find a place where we could meet, or we could just go to his or our office. We discuss the design, what he wants the project to be. After we discuss, then we negotiate. We have our prices, and we see if he is willing to pay that price. We can negotiate again until we reach the agreement. Then we start to work. After working for 3 or more days, depending on the project, then we submit the work to our client.
What are the considerations when it comes to setting a price? What are the things that you need to factor for?
Yes. The basic and most important things that we focus on is the requirement. Okay, what kind of requirements a customer have? it might be a simple website, but with many requirements. It needs many things to be on such projects. So it depends. We mostly focus on the requirements.
Would you say that your customers are typically high-end or low-end?
Both.
Okay, so you can cater to all of them.
Yes.
Which one have you had more of?
Mostly low-end.
Okay.
Mostly the individuals and individuals to companies to corporates to business institutions.
And what's been your favorite project that you have worked on?
Our most favorite project was a software called PHS. It's an abbreviation for Paperless Hospital System. It's a platform that we designed to reduce paperwork and simplify the recording on the health institutions. So we focus on dispensaries, health centers, and hospitals. That was our very favorite project.
Yeah. Why was that your favorite?
Because first, it targets on health sector. That's the first thing. And the health sector is one of the most important sectors in Tanzania. Secondly, we've seen it helping people. More than 5,000 people are helped by this platform, And the last point is most of the institutions believe on it because it saves time. It's fast. There is no loss of any kind of papers. It generates more income because of its efficient recording, something like that.
That sounds like quite a big project. How long did that take?
It took about 1 and 8 months. 1 year and 8 months. And actually it was one of the first projects that we started when we started our company.
How did you convince the customer to do this big project if you had only just begun?
Okay. First of all, I can say it was luck. Most of the Tanzanian customers don't simply believe on IT companies. They need to see the actual data, the statistical data. What kind of work do you do? Do you have recent projects? We need to see those recent projects. Basically for startup companies, that's very difficult because they have none of recent projects. So when we faced our first customer, he simply believed that we can do a big project, a big important project for his hospital. So that's where we started.
So you didn't need the sort of the portfolio. You were able just with your words to convince it.
Yes, with the words.
Just words. Do you remember? Was there a particular phrase that you said, or a particular moment where you thought, right, we've convinced him?
Yes, I remember that my colleague Shaban just said paperless. That's it.
What it was?
Paperless, because we saw there was a room where was a bunch of files and papers, and some of those papers get lost. Some of the patients' records got just scrambled, It's very difficult to store such kind of data in that form. So simply Shaban just said paperless, and he said, wow, can we just try it and see what the results will be?
So is it was that the case that you went to them and said, we think this is a project that we can do? Or did they come to you and saying, we've got all this paper, we don't know what to do?
Okay, as recently I've said that we don't usually practice face-to-face marketing, but that was our first choice when we started. So after wandering around, finding a customer by face-to-face, then we found that hospital and we approached him and we just gave him as an idea, okay, we have this project, can we do this on your hospital? So that's where we started.
I see. And just so that I understand, you are saying that the projects that you do now are typically shorter.
Okay, most of them are shorter, like websites, web applications, we have graphics, illustrations, animations. Those are short. but we have long projects and ongoing ones. Specifically, there are two. We have that PHS, Paperless Hospital System, and we have another one called PIS, Paperless Inventory System.
So you like your paperless systems?
Yes, we want all our systems to be paperless.
So what is next? What is the next thing that needs to be paperless?
We haven't decided yet, but we believe that they might be paperless something very soon, but not sure. But most of we want most of our software to be paperless. Yes, paperless. The names should start with paperless.
Oh, so that is your branding?
Yes, that's our brand.
So Geek Technologies is Paperless X.
Yes, Paperless X.
Yeah, very cool. What has been the biggest lesson that you've learned since you started the business?
Okay, the biggest lesson that we learned is that try to convince your customer to trust you. That's the only challenge that we face. Most of the startups face that challenge, that their customers just don't trust them. Are they true? Do they do what they say they do? Will this project work? Is your company registered? Do you pay taxes? We get such kind of questions. So what we learned in these 2 years is that as long as you're professional, okay, you have a master's degree or undergraduate degree or PhD, just try to make your customer believe that you can do such kind of work.
And what's the best way to put this? Why should the customer believe you can do it? As in, how did you learn to do these things?
Okay, first of all, be open. Just tell them the truth that my name is ABC and I have company D. It's registered. It's in this location. We have performed these projects, or we haven't performed none projects. So we're willing to work with you. Is it okay? So he or she decides yes or no. If no, just try to make him believe that you're saying is true. Never lie. That's the biggest lesson that we learned. Never lie. Just be open. Say the truth.
And I mean, doing anything technical requires you to know the skills in order to do it. So where did you learn the skills to do it?
Okay, we have, I can say, 2 schools at the same time. The first one was our university, RUCO, which is now called RUCU, Royal Catholic University. And the second school was the internet. Just make up your own syllabus and go learn on it. Just work it until you know it.
So the 3 founders, do you all have the same skill sets, or do you each have different specialities?
Okay, we have different skill sets. I'm good on web development, but my other 2 founders, the first one, Alfred, is good on computer networks and programming. The second founder, Shaban, is good at computer programming, specifically on Java development.
When you say web development, what do you mean? What's the
Yes, the processes involved is web design. Okay, I can design websites of any kind, and after web design, I can do web development. Web development means I integrate the design with the web programming techniques.
Or the actual functionality?
Actual functionalities means I can create web applications. For example, Twitter, Facebook, Airbnb, example. Those are typical examples.
I see. So Airbnb is a web.
Yes, a web application.
Web application.
Yes.
And so you also do web applications.
Yes.
Has anyone ever come to you and they have an idea and you think that they're not doing it very well, and you kind of think, if I just did this company, I could make it much, much better? Did you ever have that?
Yes, we do have that. Most of our clients have their own IT companies. They have their own contacts. They have the IT personnel that they trust. So when we face them, the first time that we see, we just want to see the mistakes. Where are the other companies that have done the mistakes? Then with those mistakes, we find the solution for them. For example, if a certain company has a website, but it's not that good looking, so we can approach the owner or the manager and say, okay, this site, your website is not that good, but come and see this. Do you see how great they are? We can transform this website to this one. Can we do it? You can say, wow, yes, it's a great idea, and yes, they have great appearance. Okay, let's do it.
In that example, in rough figures, how much would it cost to do a redesign of a website? So there's not too much functionality, it's just sort of the redesign. Maybe it's a logo, maybe there's some nice functionality.
Yes.
Rough figures, how much would that cost?
Roughly it costs, that's maximum, roughly 400,000 shillings.
Okay, so that is $2,000?
About 180 to $200.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. So yeah, it's my conversion rate is wrong. So it's about $180 to $200.
Approximately.
Okay. And are most companies able to afford that, or is that kind of like quite is it something that limits that not many people do?
Yes, most of the companies afford that. Most of the companies, but most of private clients, no, they don't. So that's why we have to negotiate. Okay, what price can you give us? Some even go below 200,000, which is about 50 or 40 US dollars.
See, okay. So when it comes to sort of the negotiation, what are some things you say to make people convinced that it's money well spent?
Yes. First of all, we say price goes with the product. So if you want a good product, means you must pay the price. So if you pay less, you get less beautiful products. Do you understand? If you pay high, you get beautiful products or beautiful products. That's what we consider.
And are all of your customers in Tanzania? Or yeah?
Yes, all of our customers in Tanzania, but soon we'll have one customer outside Tanzania.
Where are they?
Germany.
How did you find them?
Actually, they found us on social media.
Okay.
So I think more than 80% we depend on social media to market the company. So they found us on social media and they called us. We talked. They told us that they want our services and say, okay, we can do it.
Right. What have you found have been some effective social media strategies?
We started on Facebook. We started promoting the website, and after that, we started to promote each and every service that we saw. For example, if we do graphics design, we promote it as graphics design. So people that are concerned about graphics design will see that advert. And after that, we extended to advertising agents. So it's money. You pay money for that. It's not for free. So it's extended to advertising agents. Then we extended to other social media like Google Plus, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Roughly what percentage of the population use the internet regularly in Tanzania?
Unfortunately, I don't have the actual statistical data, but most of the authorities say that it's about 80% of the Tanzanians that have mobile phones browse through the internet, use the internet.
See. What I'm trying to understand is how much of the economy or how much of the businesses are things actually happening online, or is it still transactions, meetings, communication? Does that still more often happen face to face?
Okay, in Tanzania, mostly are just communications, simple communications, messages, photos, videos, and most of them are just normal or personal communications, not business related. Very few customers focus on social media specifically for businesses. And I believe we are very few of them that use social media for business purposes.
Okay. And so most people are going on Facebook, they're just there to sort of talk to their friends.
Yes, talk to their friends, post about their personal lives, something like that.
And so you're finding that you're getting a good return on actually being somebody who does advertise on Facebook.
Yes, we get good results because it took 2 years to advertise on Facebook. So we believe that those customers that who see our adverts are actually our customers, not for personal purposes and so.
So from your perspective of giving IT support to many different companies, where do you see, in a general sense, the opportunity in the Tanzanian market?
There will be an opportunity specifically on digital data because our country currently is in transition. So it wants to convert from physical data, physical files in papers or something like that. They want to convert to digital data. That's why most of the companies focus on that area. That is because of our nation's policy that everything must be digitized. I think you've heard of our Tanzania backbone.
For those who don't know.
Okay, Tanzania backbone is the nation's fiber optic network. I think it's about 3 years from now, and it's about to be complete. So most of the government institutions, schools, government agents are connected to the internet with that network. So I believe in 3 years from now, most of the parts of Tanzania will be online using that network.
And so because of that, you see opportunity in giving people services that come through the internet.
Yes, because most of the people will be online. Most of the people will need online services.
And within those online services, I mean, obviously, health systems and inventory, you've got those covered.
Yes.
Are there any others that you think have been overlooked?
We think of schools, online schools. We think of transportation. We think of water services. But we haven't decided which to go with, but we mostly think of those three.
And just to clarify, you would be finding an existing school or water service, and you'd be saying, we can make your business better, rather than you building up a water system.
Yes.
That's
correct. I think that's the simple way. Simply because we are not experts on water services, we're not experts on schools, syllabus, management, something like that. So when we get a first customer from a certain school or certain institute, they will help us create that solution, and that solution will be used for others.
See. When you look at what Geek Technologies might look like in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, what do you see?
I see a company with several paperless products for most of the sectors in Tanzania. I see my products being used by more than 1 million Tanzanians from health to education sectors.
And do you feel that the Tanzanian market is big enough, or will you look to go to other countries?
I think that the Tanzanian market is big enough, though it's in maturity. It's in maturity because not most of the population is online. Not most of the population is aware that there is this technology that they can use to simplify their work.
See. What's the one thing? Let's bring it in a bit. So in the next 6 months, what's the thing that you're most excited about doing?
We are currently advertising out these two projects, PIS and PHS, a paperless inventory system and paperless hospital system. So these are the two projects that we are currently focused on for the next 6 months.
And do you think that your team will remain the same size?
For now, yes. But if we have a new service, I think the team will increase. Not just the service, but the size of the customers also. If we have too many customers, the team definitely will increase.
So we'll just do a few more questions. That's okay.
That's okay.
When you decided to call it Geek Technologies, what was like the other name you thought? Because it's quite a memorable name.
Yes, I know. The first name was A&M, meaning Alfred and Mbelwa, but that name was too conservative. This company is not only for two people, Alfred and me, Mbelwa, but we need to create a company that will accommodate professionals. So that's why my friend, the same colleague, Alfred, actually came up with the name. He said, Geek. Hey guys, do you know the meaning of geek? And we said, yes. Okay, let's call it Geek. And I just said, oh wait, we just can't call it Geek Limited. It will be meaningless. Most of the Tanzanians don't know the actual meaning of that name. So we decided to come up with the name Geek Technologies.
Because at least in the UK, the last few years, sort of the idea of geeks has kind of become in vogue. It's kind of become trendy. Is that also the case here, or is it still seen as a bit weird?
Yes, it's a bit weird, but I'm happy that most of our people that when they see their name, when they see our name, they started to ask, what geek means? Is it an abbreviation or they say just no? We give him the actual meaning.
How do you define geek?
Okay, we define geek as a person who uses computer to the extreme way. The person who knows and uses computers to the maximum. That's what we decide. That's what we define geek.
Got it. And for people listening at home, how can they follow the story of Geek Technologies?
They can start by searching on Google Geek Technologies. The first list will be our website, so they can start there. And when they visit our website, they can get the links to other social networks that we have.
Which one do you have the most presence on?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes. It's about 2,004 people followers.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Mbelwa, thanks so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Before we head, just a quick moment to say thank you for listening. You can see the show notes of this episode by heading to samfloy.com/podcast and then searching for the episode title. That's samfloy.com/podcast. Now, a few people have got in touch and have been asking about how this podcast came about. And well, it all started when I took a one-way flight to Rwanda to seek out business opportunities across the region. I'm now at the stage of formulating a bit of a plan of the business I want to go into, based on all of these podcast interviews, and we'll be keeping a record of what I get up to on my blog. And so if you're interested in being kept in the loop, you can sign up to the newsletter there. Again, it's samfloy.com. Also, if you have any questions, comments or feedback about the podcast, or indeed anything, please feel free to email me, podcast@samfloy.com, and I'd be very happy to chat. In any case, have a great week and speak to you soon.